Hey everybody, and welcome back to Is It Kino, your favorite A24 TV series review podcast. I am Simian Jimmy, joined as always by E-Rich McCoy.
Florian, I curse you.
But fuck Florian, because next we'll introduce our special guest from the Movies Podcast and the B-Bang Podcast, the superior program, the one and only LowRes Wonderbread.
Oh, thank you, Mumpy. I don't know if I can really be called a special guest these days. I feel like I've done about 30 episodes of this show at this point, but I'm so happy to be back for another year of Is It Kino.
Well, it's certainly a special occasion for me when I get the chance to talk to you, LowRes, and if anybody is curious, I do have a LowRes Wonderbread playlist on this channel of every video you've appeared in.
Oh, wow.
Have not done that for E-Rich. I did that for Biggs, Florian, pretty much anybody but E-Rich, because he's always on the same shit.
You could very easily just put in every episode, take out every episode from the last, 4 years or something, and then just call it good.
The E-Rich playlist?
Yeah.
And last and least, I would like to apologize to myself for recommending this great show to this man. It is Florian Himzel.
Yeah, I've been cursed so many times already. Wow, had to watch this show, and now E-Rich cursed me, and that made my penis get really small. Okay, forever. It was
smaller than it already was.
Before.
Oh shit!
You definitely did not have to watch this show.
Okay.
I told Florian, yeah, we're gonna do a kino on this great show in 2 days, and then he chose to binge all 10 episodes in a single sitting. Then he did not like it and chose to come on the podcast.
Wait, so did you watch it all at once?
Yes, like I said, it was a curse. I couldn't stop.
Damn.
I was compelled.
And I wish that I would have watched the whole thing again. I kind of am envious of Florian that he got to go through this whole nightmare in a single sitting. And this is one of those shows, and we'll get into this, where if I sat down and took notes on every interesting little thing, I could probably make a 4-hour video just talking about this show. So I'm hoping that these superior minds in E-Rich and LowRes can help us really dissect this beautiful piece of art.
Yeah, please, because I really want to see what on earth is the selling point from this show.
Well, on the contrary, I'm very curious to hear Florian's take here, because Florian, this is kind of low key, maybe not so much in the comment section on a lot of these videos. Florian, you're kind of a master persuader, because I was listening to that Godzilla -1 review. And my takeaway, I love that movie, but then at the end I was like, yeah, why shouldn't we melt a bunch of Japanese people? They were friends with the Nazis. So yeah, I cannot wait to hear your perspective on this.
Yeah, they can't keep getting away with it. Exactly.
Yeah, it's not too often that I'll get new comments on a video that's like more than 2 or 3 weeks old, but still to this day I get comments on that Godzilla video saying, wow, Florian is unhinged. Every single thing he said is insane. But this show...
that was a good video.
Before we can dissect the curse, I'm going to have to take you back in time to a little program called Nathan For You that E-Rich and I were big fans of as it was airing, and we even did an Is It Kino over the finale documentary movie called Finding Francis. And I think having a fundamental understanding of that show is critical for understanding the curse, because as much as I love Nathan For You, and I would not change a single thing about it, at the end of the day, a large portion of the show is exploitation of mentally ill people. And Nathan will go on Craigslist and find insane people and put them on TV and make them a big joke. And I think the guilt from that really plays into a lot of the curse here.
I think throughout all of his projects, you can kind of see him leveling up as he goes along. Definitely by the time of Finding Francis, the project is different at the end of Nathan For You, and he's definitely looking to expand the bounds of what he's really doing here. So
yeah, and there's a good transition with his HBO show, The Rehearsal, that I think is a great transition from Nathan to the curse.
Is he just hung up on I have no history with Nathan Fielder's work. This is my first outing with anything that he has done.
Okay.
Does he just have a penchant for reality television or faux reality television for all of his projects?
I think Nathan the man and Nathan the character started off as two distinct things, and as he was filming Nathan For You, he found himself in everyday life, thanks to this TV show he's making, he has to constantly lie to people and trick them and deceive what they're actually filming for the sake of this comedy show. So I think he kind of lost himself. In the finale of Nathan For You really digs deep into Nathan the man and asks the question of, are we just doing this for the cameras? Am I even a real person? Like, the conversations I have with people, am I even being genuine on any level? And that's the question he kind of has to deal with. So I don't know if it's specifically reality TV, but more about Nathan making TV.
Yeah, I'd say throughout all of his shows, he's kind of deconstructing what reality means to the individual people who are taking part in these shows. And I think especially the end of the rehearsal really gets into this, where when you're warping the reality of people who kind of have no say over their lives, like children, like using child actors on things, like how does that affect, I don't know.
Ultimately, the child cannot distinguish reality from the TV show, and he thinks of Nathan as his real dad, and that's like the real tragedy of that show, is that Nathan realizes he's traumatizing a real child to make a TV show.
Right, and I think he's just slowly taking apart every part of the TV industry as we know it, and kind of taking it apart, showing you the individual pieces and being like, is this thing something we need? Should we be doing this as part of the television experience?
Doing it? Is he still doing the things he's criticized?
Well, The Curse is a completely scripted show.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I was wondering about that. If there were any parts that were like pranks or whatever. So I guess
there's no Borat style filmmaking here. The Curse is 100% scripted.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's interesting because it doesn't seem that way.
I think it definitely does. But I do appreciate, like, The Curse is a show about Nathan and Emma Stone. They're a couple and they're trying to make a reality show on HGTV, the Home and Garden network. And all the real life scenes are like filmed from like outside the window of the house or from the other room, sort of the people talking are out of focus. So it's almost like the anti-reality show, where typically on a scripted drama you're going to have beautiful close-ups of the people talking and stuff, but this is like the characters are being spied on by the camera at all times.
I noticed that with the cinematography. Yeah, there's a lot of what I call creep shots in this series for framing the actors on screen. It kind of reminded me a little bit of, this isn't one-to-one, but if any of you guys have seen Matt Johnson's movie Blackberry,
of course,
like a significant chunk of the shots in that movie are through either window glass or see-through pane. So it kind of reminded me of that, and you get a lot of weird shots that feel very, I don't think it's Benny Safdie's contribution, because I'm pretty well versed in the Safdie brothers filmography. You don't see this type of thing. I don't know if this would be the case on Nathan's other shows, but things like where you see almost like the distortion of his face through like some sort of weird piece of metal, like things like that. It's very interestingly shot, especially considering the fact that the premise of the show is these two people, this couple, pursuing reality TV, lofty HGTV goals.
Where you constantly have to distort yourself into a part or thing that someone will watch and be like, oh yeah, I like that person. I want to watch more of that person. Yeah.
Well, it's interesting how it starts out with Dougie just tricking him into thinking that the mic is off, but he was actually still recording him. But then throughout the show, it still keeps doing it. So does that mean that Dougie is just constantly spying on them, or does it just
pretty much? Yeah. I mean, Dougie's a big asshole. I love Dougie.
Yeah, he is outrageous.
That's a standout character.
Dougie might be the best person of the main three people in this show.
I'm not gonna go that far, Rich.
I might agree with that.
Do you guys remember the scene when Dougie wakes up in like a field and he's like hungover and he has to find all the car keys buried under a tree and he's like drinking all night with children?
Because he hid the keys so the kids couldn't drive.
He's a good guy because he gets kids drunk.
He's responsibly getting the kids.
Like, I don't think Nathan did anything, or Asher, Nathan's character, did anything particularly evil. He's just, he's just himself.
Yeah, he's just a complete tool, you know. That's all. And
I think destroying your own soul and devoting yourself wholly to another person with little care for your own personhood is pretty.
Who does that hurt? If you're only hurting yourself, you're not.
It's self-harm. Self-harm, maybe the worst kind of harm.
That's retarded.
No, it's definitely not the worst harm.
Wouldn't we be better off if Hitler self-harmed instead of the other harm he did?
Yeah, he waited too long with that one.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, because of course he did end his life with self-harm. You know, everybody, suicide prevention hotline, go check it out. But I do want to. The thing that sticks in my mind the most about this show is that while it is about making reality TV, and how everything on reality TV is sort of planned out and fake, like, oh, let's do a scene where I'm helping you put on your pants, and then they get into the position and do it, and it's not really genuine or authentic. But then the characters just interacting with each other in normal life, not filming anything. And Emma Stone's character especially sort of never becomes a genuine person. Like every conversation, she's trying to manipulate the other person into getting what she wants. For example, she has this Native American friend, and she wants to feature her artwork in the show just to prove how how hip and cool she is to have this Native American art. And her friend does not want it featured in the show for various reasons. So Emma has to put on a completely fake persona and offer her money and all these things, pretending to be super sweet and nice and loving as a friend, but really, she just wants her to sign the contract to put the art in the show. And it makes you question, is real life even real? Is everybody always just being a phony, manipulative piece of shit?
I mean, I think the Native American woman did a lot of manipulating there too. I think
definitely.
Really...
Everybody's constantly doing this to everybody.
Yeah.
The native character is like essentially selling out. She's just kind of dithering about it the entire time. So like she might dislike Emma Stone's character. She might dislike what Emma Stone's character wants to do with her culture, but she's still going to sell out anyway.
Yeah, she wants that money.
Mm-hmm.
But did you guys have that same thought? Like any conversation you have with anybody, are you now questioning how genuine the other human is being, or if they're just trying to get something out of you?
Well, I feel like
Yeah,
I was just going to say, when it comes to production, especially, I would have experience here. You're talking to people on a set or who might be involved in any sort of project you're doing. I think a big part of being able to accomplish your goals in that is tailoring how you respond to another person appropriately, and sort of you do have to wear different personas at times in order to make effective progress with things. So I don't know if I took it necessarily as her being eroded from the core so much as being in business mode, although she does have that sort of relationship with her parents where there's this artifice, and then eventually that does break down because she doesn't.
She is
want
just
them
a
anywhere.
brat when she's with her parents.
Yeah. So she is kind of being a different person to different people, and that does transcend from production into her personal life, as she like has this devolving relationship with Nathan Fielder's character Asher. But,
right, and well, I don't want to cut you off if you still had more, but I want
go ahead.
Play off of that. This is written and directed by Nathan Fielder, and I think he himself, as a man, might have lost track of what his actual personality might have been. Not to psychoanalyze armchair psychology too much of this man, but I mean, he did make this piece of art that seems to be very reflective of a lot of things. And that was kind of the whole point of Finding Frances, was Nathan realizing he doesn't know who he is anymore because he's just playing a character all the time. And I think that's explored a lot through all the characters in this show, is that what is the real version of me if I'm playing a different version to everybody I talk to?
Well, it's pretty hard for me to even like sympathize with anyone, because everyone is just written to be like the biggest asshole possible, and like entirely the show is so hard for me to enjoy because of that. Like,
well, I do want to hear why you hate it, Florian.
Long.
So let's have Florian go off on his hate rant for a little bit.
Just real quick, I do think, Florian, that you did yourself a disservice by watching all of it repeatedly back to back to back.
No, I don't think so.
I think the show tends to repeat itself.
There's no way I could have watched this if I hadn't binged it. Like, having to endure an entire hour of this every week. Oh my god, no fucking way.
Like it's a TV show because it's broken into individual pieces, and you're learning more about these characters as you see each individual piece. But if you watch each piece again and again and again and again, you're just going to see the same commonalities, and it'll become boring probably. Whereas when it was 10 weeks split apart, it was much easier to be like, yeah, these are these same characters, but they're in slightly different situations, and you're seeing new sides of them. Whereas if you just watch the whole thing, it's just like vomit. I don't know. I
mean, it is just so repetitive, and like, there's no way that could be good, like, on any level, because like any show would cut out the repetitive parts, but this just goes on and on and on. And at some point, there's like a 10-minute uninterrupted scene where he's just driving through and not saying anything, and we're just seeing the scenery.
That's like an impressive shot. He's going through a whole neighborhood.
An impressive shot, isn't he? Can't you just?
Is that when he's driving to the strip mall?
No, I think it's where Doug visits someone. I think he just visits the main two. Like, wouldn't you just put the camera on the car and drive? Like, how is that an impressive
I think,
shot?
Florian, there is something to the show showing you what this person is like when it is just them on their own, like, free of any influence, free of, like, having to interact with people. It is just what he is like on his own.
He's just driving. He's not even on camera. We just see the car driving, and that's it. Like, you missed that.
I don't remember that particular scene. So
I mean,
it goes on forever.
Florian, do you have any bigger points to make other than you didn't like when they showed a car driving?
Well, I mean, I guess like the bigger point of that part was that, like, later on they mentioned how terrible this neighborhood was, and was that what they were trying to show? But I mean, yeah, they like I guess I have some questions. Like, for example, do you enjoy it when the characters are just like
awkward?
The infinite amount of cringe. Is that fun?
Yes.
Yeah, that's one of the main
Absolutely.
appeals of Nathan Fielder, is that he's top tier cringe comedy. You have to watch Nathan For You.
Yeah, but he's like the one who's cringe in that one, and then the other people are semi-normal.
Not
right?
really.
He's trying to
No.
Yeah.
He's exploiting retarded people constantly. That's the whole show.
He's kind of the too normal baseline that everyone else kind of like can riff off of in Nathan For You.
And he's very insecure, and he wants to be liked, and he's constantly being rejected. And like he'll have this little adventure where he tries to save somebody's business, but it's a terrible idea. And then at the end he'll ask, "Can you put me in your will?" And they'll say, "What the fuck, no."
Well, I thought the point of that was that he is just like such a horrible character, and I think the reason for that is because he's just playing full autistic. He's just doing full autism blackface, and I hate it. I'm thinking he's just like he's not that bad, but everyone's reacting to him like he's the worst thing ever. Like, what am I missing here?
I don't think you're missing anything. I think there are lots of people who are just socially awkward.
I don't know if it's just that he's socially awkward so much as that he doesn't command any sense of respect. Mm-hmm. If you look at Dougie has some weird moments too, but he's always in a position of authority, usually when he's having a conversation. Same with Emma Stone's character. Asher is just kind of floating through, and he's playing second fiddle to her. And I think people are responding appropriately both to that and the fact that he just doesn't know how to socially interact with people.
Or stand up for himself, or like assert or dominate in any way.
Or if he does, he gets very snappy after the fact and tries to correct his behavior from.
There's an insane scene when somebody in the car says like that his wife's a little too uppity or something, and Nathan like gets unleashed like, "You stupid fucking bitch! Don't talk about my fucking wife like that!" Like, I've never seen Nathan like that. I almost shit myself.
Yeah, I like that scene, but. I mean, I'm talking about Nathan in general. Like, in the other ones, he does have like authority, right? But he's still disliked because he's just playing up the autism so hard, right?
What if I told you, and LowRes, I'd like to hear your thoughts on this, that while filming Nathan For You, Nathan went through a tragic divorce. Would that impact maybe the writing on this show at all?
Well, I mean,
As he was losing himself, he also lost his love.
was that question to me or to
Anybody, because that's kind of the whole point of the show, is that he's insecure in his relationship and that his wife doesn't actually really care for him at all.
It does make me wonder if this is an analysis of him maybe feeling at fault. But no, I don't think it impacts anything in terms of my opinion of the show.
I don't mean opinion, just like to evaluate it now that you have this new information.
Well, this is actually very interesting because that's the only possible sense that the ending makes, is that he's like... I don't know, should I talk about it already or should I...
Yeah, I'll assume anybody watching this has seen the show.
Okay, so in the end, he gets cursed, I guess, again. But this
if that's
time
your interpretation.
Well, I'm pretty sure that's explicitly what the show is, because like we know that Dougie curses him, and then like one episode later he is affected by a magical power that will literally kill him. So I'm thinking the fact that this show is called The Curse and then that happens is not a coincidence. Also because we've seen like the curse has been mostly possibly real before, the little curse, but now the big curse is actually going to kill him. But the thing is that Nathan was finally getting his relationship back together, and then he feels like it's all going to be okay, but then something outside of his control just shoots him into space, you know? So I think that would make a perfect analogy for how he feels about his marriage, I guess, where he probably thought, oh, we're finally fixing it, and then he's just shot into space and he's got no way of fixing it now.
Florian, do you know what the last thing he says to, is her name Whitney?
Whitney, yeah.
What the last thing he says to Whitney before the weird gravity thing starts to affect him?
What did he say?
He says, go worry about your baby, not the baby up here in the tree. Wah, wah. Throughout the whole show, he keeps calling himself a baby.
Yeah, it's a recurring theme, and there are little hints dropped here and there. Like, I noticed a screen cap there, and I might have posted it on Instagram or X or somewhere. But they do allude to what his fate is going to be by placing him next to like props and objects that indicate something of elevation. So yeah, there's this motif of him being a baby, and you can see that with his relationship with Whitney, where he doesn't really want to accept any sense of responsibility in that. He just wants to leave all of the decision making to her. And even when she uses their relationship as fodder for the reality show, which she rebrands Green Queen, he doesn't really have a serious defense mechanism to that. It's just very apologetic and trying to repair things immediately because he doesn't have anywhere to go outside of her.
By the time his son, or I think it's a son, right?
It's a son.
By the time his son is born, there is basically no use for him anymore. Like, he has played every card he could possibly have. He just exists as a kind of also ran attachment to Whitney, so he just doesn't need to be around anymore, so he just floats away.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting that sort of gravity is being reversed for him, and he's falling out of the planet, and at the same time as he's flying into space and dying, the baby, his son, is being born, but it's coming out backwards, just like how he's kind of coming out backwards in a way. And some people are interpreting it that he's kind of being reincarnated as this baby, and Whitney's the true cursed one, because now she's like stuck raising this man-child for the rest of her life.
Yeah, I'm so surprised that there was an actual baby coming out of that belly. I thought it was gonna be something really fucking stupid. I don't know, like a toy or something coming out of her belly. Like the fabric of the show has devolved so far into nonsense at that point. I'm shocked. Okay.
Can we just talk about how the fuck did they do the weird gravity stuff? Because sometimes I'm just like, yeah, they just have a set that you can turn upside down, and then it looks like
Nathan's doing some incredible physical acting to pretend that he's trying to like get down, but really he's just standing upright. But yeah, then other shots, like they're floating in midair together.
Yeah, there's so many points where I'm like, I just have no idea how they did that. Like, it's a legitimate, like, huge trick they pulled off.
Is this the sort of thing that will ever be shown, or do they just not show behind the scenes effects?
I don't want them. I don't want them to show it.
I mean, I do. I don't care about the magic of movies that much, Rich. I'd love to see like the design, because they had Christopher Nolan host a panel about this finale, and I'm wondering if they like got some of his Inception people to help out.
Oh, that's interesting. You know, I think it'll be a little bit of time before we hear anything about how they pulled that off, because they're not going to want to spoil the finale for the late goers. So it'll probably be a couple of weeks, and maybe you'll see something pop up on YouTube, or if they put out a Blu-ray of this, I'm sure, because the Twin Peaks: The Return Blu-ray was chock full of behind-the-scenes stuff, and that was also Showtime. So I would have to imagine that there's going to be a featurette of some kind that comes out on this.
Now, I have a question for E-Rich and LowRes. As somebody who has not watched Twin Peaks, I've seen a lot of people saying, I've never seen a TV show like this since Twin Peaks. Is that a fair comparison? Is this like some elevated, high, confusing art like Twin Peaks?
I don't think it's elevated or confusing at all. I think it exists in a kind of similar world of Twin Peaks, where it's all of this unconscious thinking that's being put into the script. Nothing that's really thought out. And I think with a finale like this, Benny Safdie and Nathan Fielder know that people are going to overanalyze and try and come up with like some sort of rationalization for what this means or whatever it is, when in actuality it's probably just like a fun idea that they decided to go with.
What if this happened and they just completely commit to it? Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So, I mean, I don't think it's a one-to-one comparison, but I will say that this is probably, and I hope it's a limited series. I hope there's not a season 2, and it doesn't seem like
there cannot be a season 2.
Yeah. I mean, who knows? I didn't predict that the ending of the show would be what it is, so it wouldn't be out of character to come back next season. And actually, Benny Safdie posted something on Instagram today that might have alluded to a season 2, and I hope that's not the case.
It was the joke of Dougie will have a lot of jewelry for Queen season 2. Yeah.
Yes. So I don't know about that, but it's kind of similar to Twin Peaks. Some episodes of Twin Peaks: The Return.
Okay. Would you concur, E-Rich?
Yeah, like I think that the general feeling they're going for is stuff that Lynch does all the time in any of his shows or movies. This kind of like unreal reality that you're kind of stuck in and just have to like deal with for some amount of time. I don't know. Twin Peaks is its own kind of strange beast that I feel like the direct comparison doesn't really hold up, but there's definitely elements there that they're playing with.
Are there any standout scenes you guys would like to discuss? And if not, I'm dying to talk about the ending of episode 9.
Yeah, I definitely want to talk about episode 9 as well. I'm thinking that like the entire 8 episodes before it were a complete waste of my time. I guess you guys enjoyed it,
Jesus
but like
Christ.
those last 2 episodes actually made sense. And I'm like, oh man, there's some really interesting things happening here. I wonder if Dougie is gonna try to steal his wife or what.
I did think he was gonna get cucked by Dougie.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking that would be the grand finale, but I guess. Well, I mean, I still think that Dougie cursed him and then he flew off into space. So I really think, he really did get fucked.
I just realized how much the cuck stuff really plays into him just like flying off and disappearing, because like fantasy is someone else in what should be your position.
Right.
Your role,
Nathan
you
is
just kind of like don't have a role.
Or Asher's character is a spiritual cuck, not a literal one. Like he'll be using sex toys on his wife for the coitus because he has a micro penis, I guess, and he's, they can't really fuck normal, I guess. And he's like asking the sex toy for permission to touch his own wife and stuff, and that's clearly what gets both of them off. And then at some point, as Asher starts feeling more powerful, and he like fucks over his old friends at the casino for various reasons, his fetish seems to be changing, and now he's like, oh yeah, you want to fuck my hot wife, because I'm the whistleblower. Like he's kind of changing his perspective while still being a cuck, and Emma Stone did not like it.
Oh my god, that scene was insane, where it's just muffled and him saying all that, and I couldn't make it out, so I had to
He's
turn
in
on
the bathroom.
subtitles.
You do not know whether he's masturbating or not. Survey says, is he masturbating?
He's probably masturbating.
He's definitely masturbating.
Masturbating his little tiny penis is cherry tomato.
Okay,
I had a question about episode 9. So there's a moment where Dougie calls Asher out on his cuck fetish. Is that because, and this went over my head, did Asher tell him about that, or did he find that out through Whitney?
Well, he told him in private outside of the show, apparently, when they were young together, right?
I don't remember, and that's why I really wish I could rewatch this sooner for this podcast.
Yeah, their relationship was a little confusing to me because I wasn't under the impression they had been longtime friends up until
they have
that drive.
been. No, they like Dougie was his high school bully, I think, and then I guess he thought they were friends, but Dougie thought that he was just like an idiot.
It's kind of like me and Florian. Who can say which is which?
Yeah, we'll never know.
Which one of us is the Dougie? Which one's the Asher, Florian?
Yeah, you're definitely going to fly into space.
But the ending of episode 9, they did a cut of their show that just shits all over Asher as a human and like dissects him down to the tiniest molecule of a man. And we just sit there with the most tense and awkward scene possible as they're all sitting and watching this. And Asher has like his whole life unfolded before him in a 4-minute segment. And his reaction is he storms out of the room and then comes back and basically says to them, "You guys are right. I'm X, Y, and Z, but I'm going to change, baby." And he's like very intense and it's horrifying. One of the most terrifying things I've ever seen from Nathan, of him promising Emma Stone that he will be the perfect husband for her.
It's actually worse than that because they cut it out of the show. And then Whitney says, "No, I want you to see it." So she is like wanting him to see her just absolutely eviscerate him.
Yeah, and she's basically ready to lose him. Like, yeah, this will be the final straw to cut him out. And he triples down on the relationship.
And he just looks delirious when he comes back.
Yeah.
Well, I assumed that she showed him because she wanted to be honest with how poorly she's been treating him behind his back. So I think that like it could have still been a way for him to come back, and then
so you're saying that was a relationship save on Whitney's part? That was Whitney being like,
well, it was an attempt.
I want you so bad. I'm going to show you this.
I'm going to destroy you.
But yeah, I think that was definitely the most powerful moment of the show when he says he's all in on Whitney and he's gonna put up with all her bullshit because I guess it does play into his cuck fetish and it is just so perfect for him, even if it destroys him in some ways.
Now, Florian, imagine you see that intense, amazing scene. The credits start playing. Now you have to wait a whole week, and everybody is losing their shit. Like, how is this going to end? Is it going to be like a Jesus metaphor? Is he going to sacrifice himself for Whitney? What is going to happen? Then the next episode, we have a time skip. She's 9 months pregnant, and then halfway through the episode, Nathan has reverse gravity and flies into space. Like, a show that has been so deeply rooted in realism that it has me questioning the fabric of normal reality and relationships. For them to, in the final episode, decide, fuck it. I think is one of the most ambitious decisions in any TV show I've ever seen.
Well, you should have definitely seen it coming because Dougie cursed him. And
not a single person on the planet saw this ending coming, dude.
you should have seen
Florian, I want you to have written that down at some point and be like, the curse was going to be him flying away.
I thought it was a great payoff because throughout the entire season, there was this underlying tense something that was building, and it never really went anywhere supernatural at any point. And it was just like, all right, so are we just borrowing the aesthetics of tense horror? And then it finally does pay off in this way. And I found that ending extremely stressful to watch. People said Uncut Gems was stressful. No, the finale of The Curse was extremely stressful.
It's the most I felt like a nightmare while watching something. Like, a normal nightmare is not like a fucking horror movie where slashers jump out and scare you. A nightmare is gravity is not working for me and I can't get down. And that goes on for 25 fucking minutes.
And it's like a basic rule of how we all get around and interact with each other is just completely broken, and there's nothing you can do about it. Honestly, if it were me, I would not have left that house.
No.
Yeah, no.
No, absolutely not.
It's crazy that, like, like Asher should have seen this coming. That the fact that he thought that air was pulling him up and the house was at fault was crazy.
An air pocket or an air bubble or something.
When something
Yes.
impossible happens, Florian, people try to rationalize it at first.
I mean, I guess. But it's crazy that like it was so obvious right from the start that gravity was reversed, and then they just ignore it, and then he finally realizes it, but then he can't tell the others. And
Well, he can tell the others. That's also part of the nightmares.
does.
I'm
He
telling the
literally
truth
does.
to these people, and they do not believe me, and they are dooming me because they're trying to help.
They bring
it's
out the
more-
female firefighter with the chainsaw to cut him down from the
Yes.
tree.
Yeah, that is, Nathan is such a good actor. Like, how do you convincingly portray a guy who's afraid that if you cut this tree branch, I will fly into the air? It felt so real.
Honestly, when the woman went up with the chainsaw, I thought that she was going to drug him and make it so that like he would go limp. But yeah, it was just she was cutting down the tree branch.
Who knows if that branch wouldn't have been heavy enough to pull him down even. He should have just held on.
They should have got the net and hoisted it to the truck, but they wouldn't listen.
Well, all of that stuff just plays into the Nathan is a non-person that no one listens to. He's just such a complete cuck for all of existence.
Well,
That, nobody's listening to him.
It is so insane that he's holding onto this branch, but he's on top of the branch, so you can't see the gravity thing. So nobody would possibly think that this is true.
Right.
And it's like
That's why it's a
thought
nightmare.
I thought I was smart saying like, yeah, I would just do one-handed, like, look how I'm clearly just floating in the air here, show people. But also, I don't want to do that because I don't want to float away.
Yeah, he was holding on with all he had. If only he could have gotten to the other side of that branch, he could have stood on the branch and that would have shown them all. But no. Ah, what a shame. Could you wrap yourself around a branch if you're hanging beneath it? Could you get on top of it?
Go try it out, Florian. You guys have any other things from this show you want to talk about?
Go
ahead.
Yeah, I just think the interaction between like what a liberal kind of idea of what you make a community and how you build houses, and then that like hitting the road and being like, yeah, we're not gonna punish anyone who shoplifts from us, and we'll just pay for every product that they steal, and how that just like destroys a community because it's just basically like criminals running around, all these like white kids going in and just stealing clothes. Like,
Yeah, this was very reactionary. This was, it makes me wonder if maybe politics had something to do with the Safdie brothers falling out with one another.
Oh,
because
shit.
This feels very antithetical to a lot of what I've seen to this point from them. And having briefly spoken to Josh, he seemed very hung up on marginalized people's rights, but they don't make the people of this community look good or worthwhile, and you know, the practices that are employed by Whitney and Asher here as like these very post 2020 good upstanding liberals is just a mockery, you know, to what he just said. It was you know, showing the decay of that quickly when that is implemented. So I think that's a very interesting component to this show as well.
Well,
I think go ahead, Florian.
Well, first of all, I think that it's mostly like, I think she's like straight up communist. Okay, I don't think you can say liberal. She literally wants to give away all her money so that the poor people can have like their rights back.
You're fucking wrong. They're trying to sell these super expensive homes, I'd assume, in this community. They are essentially destroying the community from inside out.
But she's using all this language of land back and decriminalization.
Well, it's just like white liberal guilt
This.
is
It's
the
just
culprit.
words. That's all it is. It's just covering up your actions, trying to make it look like you're the
No,
slightly
she's
better.
literally doing these awful left-wing ideas that would never work. Like, she's specifically not punishing the criminals so they can do more crimes. Like, that's not liberal.
Yes, because she can't be seen doing those things. Is the reasoning behind that?
I think
She's trying to be the good version of her parents, but she's making homes for no one, essentially.
I think Nathan recognizes that bad people who will try to take advantage of you come in every race and creed. And no matter how much they try to help these people, like there's the guy from Captain Phillips is in this show. I Am the Captain Now, that guy. Nathan,
that's where he was from. Oh my god!
Like Nathan's white guilt and desire to make his wife think he's a good person is so powerful that he's basically giving these people a house for free. And the definition of ungratefulness is on display. Like the most rage perhaps I've ever felt watching a show is just how ungrateful this fucking I Am the Captain guy is to Nathan giving him a free house.
Hey, it is actually really smart that when someone says you're going to get this for free, that you make him sign a contract, because otherwise it's just going to be like, oh, no, I changed my mind. But, I mean, yeah, that was like no gratitude. It was really hard to watch.
Well, the thing I took away from that scene is that, like, they're trying to create this, like, reality show moment out of this thing, which is just going up to somebody and saying, this is your house now, without having any kind of explanation for what that means or, like, how it affects... Like, because the first thing he says is, "Do I have to pay property taxes?" Like, there's a lot in that.
What it
that
meant.
Either he's no, but Florian, this is the problem overall: is that like if he can't pay those property taxes after this year, he's not going to have that house. Like maybe he can sell it and make some money off.
And
of
if he
that,
doesn't say thank you, he's not going to have it anyway. Like fuck him.
But I think a lot of people are just more confused or uncertain, and you're not going to get that big reality show moment of, oh, he's crying, he's hugging you. Like
Nathan Asher and Whitney are definitely in the wrong for secretly recording themselves tell him this information. But like I'm saying, manipulative bad people come in every fucking color. In episode 9, Whitney goes to visit her parents, who are like these slumlords evidently, and like for some reason they have to live in one of their own shitty apartments to prove something or the other. But her parents tell her, you can't take pity on poor people, you can't take pity on brown people, because what they do is they get into one of our slum apartments and they just strip it. They strip all the shit out of the walls, they steal everything, and that's basically what I Am the Captain Now is doing when they show up to give him the house for free. There's some mysterious bearded man in the house with no mouth, and like, what the fuck are they doing in there? Probably not something good.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck was up with that. But like the intention behind the gift was, or it was even a gift for Whitney, is that he was giving the house. Like all of the reasons behind these things are not about the people they're giving it to, supposedly.
Sure. Any thoughts on all this, LowRes?
No, I mean I more or less agree with I guess both points here. I don't know. I was going to bring up, and this is not related at all. I was going to bring up because I don't want it to be sidelined, but it was in the first episode, and this is how I knew I was going to like this show, even if I had a lukewarm reaction to the first episode. Love to the Third Degree.
Yes.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Yeah, Benny Safdie's character Dougie, he's made a lot of reality shows, and some of them might be more exploitative than others.
Yes, this came at the exact right time for me because I started watching Golden Bachelor, like the same week, which exploits all these geriatric women who have dead husbands, and they're like, wow, I guess this is my last opportunity of finding a second love of my life, or else I'll just die alone. And god damn, did they nail it with Love to the Third Degree, which was the surprise burn victim reality show.
So I was trying to think if there was anything like this that existed, and there was one called The Mask or something, where it was like a dating reality show, and the guy wore a mask the entire time, and they weren't sure like what he looked like underneath. I feel like that's the closest thing that I could.
There was a show
remember.
called Joe Millionaire where it was The Bachelor, and they thought that the dude was a millionaire, and then at the end he's like, no, I'm just a normal construction worker, do you still want to be with me? I guess that's monetarily similar as opposed to like a freakishly ugly person.
Well, I read that the inspiration for this was that Benny Safdie and Nathan Fielder were familiar with a foreign reality show called Gay Army. And they took a bunch of gay men and they put them through boot camp, and the whole payoff of that show was that we're going to pit the gay army against a real army.
Who won?
They won, right?
You got to tune in to find out.
Son of a bitch, man.
Oh, is it not?
Hey, if they developed the gay bomb, as we were certain they were going to, then everyone would be gay, and the gay army would win.
Yeah. Yeah, because then both the armies are equally gay.
But then one of the gay armies would still be defeated.
I do think if I gave this a rewatch and took some proper notes, I could talk about this literally all day. But for the sake of this podcast, do we have any final thoughts we want to wrap up with?
I hope there's no season 2. I think this is a great little package of a series. I'd like to see. That wasn't a pun, but I mean, it kind of works. I'd like to see these two collaborate more, Benny and Nathan, because this was really a surprise and a treat.
Yeah, if the Safdie brothers are breaking up, you might as well adopt Nathan as your new brother.
He's Nathan Safdie from here on out.
Yeah. Could you imagine? We might get Robert Pattinson, Nathan Fielder Kino, directed by Benny Safdie. Like, I might shit myself.
Wow. Look, there's a way that season 2 could work, okay? That the baby just grows up to be Nathan's head on a toddler, okay?
Okay.
And then, like, it's basically the same show, and I guess she has a relationship with her child. Okay, it's very inappropriate.
Wasn't that a Marlon Wayans movie?
Little Man?
Yeah, Little Man.
Yeah, great film. Steal from the best, Florian.
We'll need a lot of special effects, I guess.
Erich, what are your final thoughts on The Curse? And would you curse me?
Show.
Would you take all of the chicken out of my spaghetti?
I would take all the chicken out of your spaghetti. Florian, I would definitely do the gravity thing to you. It'd be funny.
You motherfucker, I'm gonna die. I believe this now, okay?
Now, Florian, you never leave the house anyway. You probably wouldn't even notice.
Yeah, okay, well, I curse you to have 100 times gravity, okay? You're gonna be a fucking fat pancake.
I'm just gonna chill here. I'll just chill here and podcast forever.
Just lay on the ground.
Thanks, bruv. And LowRes, I guess I'll just put a random ring in your ear every couple of months.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Long enough that you forget about it and don't really worry about it, and then it comes back again. All right. This show for me is about how much of your soul do you sell for fame or recognition or love, all of that stuff. And it's just great to watch these low down, dirty characters repeatedly cut off pieces of themselves and just sacrifice more and more and more and become worse and worse people for what is essentially an HGTV reality show that is not going to air on TV, as they say in the beginning of the last episode.
Relegated straight to streaming.
The stakes are as low as possible, but these people are doing horrendous things just to get this show. I love the commentary it has about the kind of like liberals who don't really mean as well as they say they mean. The like house that they've built that's like horrifying to look at, the way they try to like insert themselves into the neighborhood. Whitney knows everyone's name and like very circumspectly says everyone's name out loud and tries to appear as if she's part of the community, but they don't want anything to do with her. It's so good. It's just all so great. I think this is Emma Stone's best performance of the year, if not her entire career.
Damn.
Nathan Fielder, I don't think I've ever seen him in a dramatic role outside of the rehearsal,
and even the rehearsal, he's just being himself.
Yeah, but I think he's a great actor, and he's proven he can do a lot here. Obviously, Benny Safdie's great, so yeah, this is a home run for me, and the finale makes it one of the best shows probably of all time. So,
LowRes, you absolutely must watch Nathan For You.
It's on my list as soon as I figure out how I can watch it. If it's on streaming somewhere, I'm definitely going to check it out.
Is it on Max still?
I think it might be on HBO. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Well, I've come away from this a Nathan Fielder fan, and I've known for the longest time. Obviously, my co-host on my podcast, Hans, he's a very big fan of Nathan Fielder and has recommended Nathan For You several times. I've seen clips of the show that have made me laugh. I just haven't sat down and watched, but I will get around to doing that.
Yeah, it's only like 32 episodes or something. You can knock that shit out.
All right, easy.
Yeah, most of the episodes are pretty short.
Yeah, it's like 20 minutes.
32?
I think it was like 8 per season, and there's only 4.
So I gave this show a chance. I keep hearing you guys gushing over this thing, and now I thoroughly know that it's not for me. Like, none of the humor works for me. It is just awful for me to watch these characters just just being so nasty to each other, and like all of the awkward silence is deliberately left in as a way to make it more funny to you people, and it doesn't work for me.
It adds a sense of reality, Florian. Like real life is not like a TV show where you just cut to the next piece of dialogue as soon as it comes out.
Well, I mean, if it's just really boring pacing, I don't know. That's still bad, but okay. I guess that's what you want. I know I don't want it, so I definitely know now that I don't want it.
I think that's the thing. This show is a very particular style, and it's a lot of it. And if you don't like connect with that style, it's probably going to be pretty bad.
Yeah. Well, I guess
to be fair, I went into this already loving Nathan Fielder and being willing to trade my life for his. So maybe it's hard for me to even be objective here, because I was going to love it no matter what, because Nathan's in it.
Well, I mean, I guess it was still worth it in the end. Like, when I was watching this, I thought I might be getting depression, but then in the end, it was kind of fun, okay? Seeing him being shot into space made it all worth it, and that scene where he confesses his love to his nasty wife was really monumental, okay? It's almost too bad that there wasn't more of them living together when he is just completely subservient and crushed. You know, I could have seen more of that before he flew into space, but I guess what they did put out the last 2 episodes were definitely as good as any other TV show, at least. Okay.
Hell yeah!
Wow! Huge turnaround for you.
What did you think of Big Pussy showing up on Rachel Ray?
Oh yeah, that was. I guess they were pretty successful in their show after all. If they get to talk to the wise guy.
They're talking to Rachel Ray on Zoom,
a TV screen,
and she's ignoring them, and Nathan doesn't say one word.
Smiling the whole time.
Yeah, I guess what a tragedy. Well, they got so close.
The tragedy is Rachel Ray not watching her figure. My God, I have not seen this woman in years, and I couldn't believe that's what she looks like now.
Hey, age
on the
comes
flip
for all of
side.
us.
Vincent Pastore, I thought he slimmed down a bit from the last time I saw him, which was like Celebrity Apprentice 4 or 5. I don't know. But
I forgot he was on that. Oh my! I have to rewatch it because I just watched The Sopranos last year.
If I remember right, he quit because he felt disrespected by Trump.
Oh,
I get no respect.
wow. Did he call him small pussy?
Tight pussy. They had a bunch of singing catfish, and he couldn't stand it. Is that it for the curse, then? We all 4 agree it's pure kino, and everybody should watch it, then? Like, Florian, would you not want people to watch this, even as a prank?
I mean, like, maybe watch the first and the last 2 episodes, okay? That's probably all you need, all right?
Watch a supercut of every Dougie scene, and he's like, "Oh, what, you think I'm gonna spill on your nice white couch?" And then I saw like a fan edit or something. It looked like he did stain the couch. I completely missed that.
The scenes where Dougie has talked about how his wife died in a drunk driving accident that he directly caused, and then he's driving a woman and blowing on his fucking alcohol detector thing, and he clearly should not be driving. Like, it's a scary scene.
I do have one question. I don't recall if this was ever resolved. Did we ever find out who put the chicken on the sink in the bathroom?
I think it was Dougie.
It was Dougie.
I think it was totally Dougie, because there's time in which he was in there to do it. And
well, he said he did it when they were having that dinner. So yeah. But yeah, he did. We did see him stain the couch too. He immediately goes like, "Oh, sorry, it's my bad. I did that." You know, so.
And then after Nathan flies into space and Dougie realizes that he just killed his friend who was begging him for help, and he refused to listen. Like, Dougie was more interested in getting a good shot with a drone camera of his friend like being scared in a tree rather than actually listening to what's happening to him and helping him. And Dougie's breakdown of guilt, and he's just weeping sitting in the road, I thought that was some phenomenal acting as well. And I teared up a lot watching this final episode, I gotta be honest.
Yeah, he does seem to be genuinely affected at the end there, whereas I don't know that Whitney's going to shed tears except for cameras.
Yeah, the last thing we see from her is her smiling.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
The doctor says, "Oh, do you want us to bring your husband in or see if your husband's here?" And she's just like, "Oh, sure." She's too concerned with the baby.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, damn, she could have saved him too. What a shame.
Okay. You guys have anything you want to plug? Florian, what's coming out on the Anti-Reviews channel? The Curse is literally unwatchable.
Well, I mean, I already said all I would to on here, I guess.
Do you want me to edit your opinions into a video so I can make some easy money?
I don't know if that's worthwhile.
That's good for me.
Well, hopefully we'll see my rant about Rebel Moon on Anti-Reviews. I don't know when this comes out, so probably in a few weeks.
This will be out 1 week from today. It'll be out on Tuesday.
Well, maybe soon after, then you'll see Rebel Moon.
Florian, are you really going to provoke the Snyder fans to come after you?
Yeah.
Do the Snyder fans even like this movie?
That's a good
Well,
question.
I looked at Letterboxd and it's
Snyder
like
fan.
very low.
I'm a Snyder fan. I was not a fan of Rebel Moon.
I'm a Snyder
I'm the
fan too.
same
I
way.
think Batman v Superman's pure kino. I mean, I think we've talked about this before, LowRes, but
Oh, yeah.
I don't even want to watch Rebel Moon. I'm scared to.
Well, it blows my mind because, like, I didn't like Batman v Superman originally, but anything else by Snyder was mostly good except for the Snyder Cut. But then Rebel Moon is just abysmally bad. It is, like, so incoherent. Holy shit.
I think it sounds like he just has very poor character work in the film.
There's part of me that hopes that the director's cut thing is better, but I also don't know that you can get any good movie out of what I saw from the theatrical.
Silly and pointless to do a director's cut if he has the authority to do it his way. Anyway. It just
Yeah.
feels cheap.
Yeah.
Well, it'd be longer, I guess, but how long was it? Was it already?
It was already
too long?
about 2 hours.
Over 2 hours,
20 minutes
yeah.
or something like that. So
Erich, what do you want to plug?
Yeah, you can find me on x.com at TZARREVAN and then on Letterboxd at Revan1138. What did I watch recently? The Beekeeper is a movie that I saw recently.
Hey,
So
I
go
saw
check out my
that.
review of that.
Do you
Why
guys
did
think
you
I
like it,
should
Florian?
watch this? Because I've heard it's unhinged.
Well, I think it's like really unhinged, like a pinch of John Wick, but with Jason Statham, so it's actually watchable. So
Is it bad if I like Jason Statham more than I like, what's his name? John Wick?
I mean,
John
you
Wick?
won't,
Yes.
you won't be as impressed by the Beekeeper, but I think it's definitely a good time.
Just as an actor, I think Jason Statham gives me more glee than what the fuck his name is. What is his name?
Keanu Reeves.
Fuck Keanu Reeves. I don't care.
I think I would rather watch Crank 2 High Voltage. but I've
Hell
only seen
yeah.
the first one. I've only seen the first Crank. I've never seen High Voltage.
Oh my god. Our buddy who introduced us, Erich, Lancaster, he when I was in high school, he showed me those Crank movies and it was fucking awesome.
Hell yeah. The
So awesome.
first one's a hood classic. It rules.
Yeah, they're both great. You should watch them back to back. LowRes, I know you and Hans just put out your top 10 films of 2023. I'm literally going to listen to that in the car in about 30 minutes, so it better be good.
I think it's good. I mean, Hans had a better list this year than I think last year. So if I'm going to plug anything, I'm not going to bring up my projects for right now. And Mumkey, I know I told you end a year for Mass Stay Live.
Yeah, I've given up on that. If it comes out, it comes out.
Yeah, I think that's a good perspective to have. Keep low expectations, maybe. No, it will be out later this year, but I'm not going to plug that. Check out Movies, a podcast about the act of cinema, and Babang, which Mumkey here believes is the superior show. Maybe it is. We're recording our return episode tomorrow. So check that out, and x.com/lowreswb. Go follow me.
And everybody, I'm glad you listened to us spoil the show. Now go watch it.
Will they watch it now? Oh my god.
Why not?
Yeah, watch the entire show. There's still surprises. We didn't talk about everything.
Oh, there's so much good stuff in this show. It's stuff that's so above my head I couldn't even possibly begin to interpret it.
Really? Wow.
Surely. I think there are depths and levels to this narrative and these characters that I haven't even begun to unravel. I need all these shitty YouTubers to make their video essays to explain the show to me.
Yeah, maybe that'll actually help. Now that I've seen it, I guess I could at least enjoy someone talking about it.
Florian,
It's good.
Don't you watch like simple normal movies and then like watch ending explained videos on them, even though it was like extremely obvious what the movie was?
What? No, like when did the?
I feel like that happened before, but maybe that was another nightmare I had.
The
But
Marvels.
those weren't those were like incoherent endings.
Well, like the Marvels explained, like, oh, where did the Black Marvel go? Why is she in the X-Man universe? Somebody explain this to me.
I mean, that's incoherent too, but you could probably fall on that one fairly easily.
Bye, everybody.
See ya.
Bye bye.